Mars's transit in Capricorn from January 16, 2026 to February 23, 2026 is one of the most important action-oriented phases of the year because Mars becomes exalted in Capricorn. It is essential to note that these interpretations are based on sidereal or Vedic astrology, which accounts for the approximately 24-degree difference with the tropical zodiac. In Vedic astrology, exaltation represents the highest functional strength of a planet, meaning its core qualities become more capable of producing results. Mars signifies willpower, courage, initiative, ambition, drive, competition, engineering ability, stamina, and the power to fight obstacles. When exalted, Mars does not simply become good, rather, it becomes highly potent, giving us the capacity to take bold and decisive actions. This transit can awaken leadership energy in people, pushing them to take charge of their life direction, pursue goals seriously, and stop postponing important decisions. The most significant feature of this transit is not only Mars's dignity but also the environment it operates in. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which creates an important contrast. Mars wants speed, direct action, and quick outcomes, while Saturn demands patience, maturity, process, discipline, and long-term responsibility. This makes the transit extremely powerful but also demanding. It becomes a period where success is possible, yet it comes through repetitive effort, pressure, tests, and endurance. Many people will feel driven to work harder than usual, but also feel that results are delayed or that the workload is heavy. This is a classic Saturn-Mars theme. Effort increases sharply, but the universe expects you to prove seriousness before rewarding you. During this Capricorn transit, Mars also forms major conjunction with Sun, Mercury, and Venus. Such combinations bring heat and urgency to the matters represented by Capricorn: law, government, systems, rules, organization, corporate structures, discipline, public status, responsibility, hierarchy, and order. When Sun and Mars come together, the energy becomes more forceful, courageous, proud, and competitive. This can give extraordinary confidence, leadership power, and the ability to challenge opposition. But it also increases ego clashes, dominance struggles, and confrontations, especially with bosses, government authorities, senior figures, or anyone who represents power. This transit can globally reflect increased public anger toward restrictions, institutions, or law-related matters, along with strong reactions toward governance and leadership decisions. The conjunction of Mars with Mercury amplifies communication intensity. Mercury represents intellect, speech, writing, commerce, media, arguments, documents, travel, analysis, negotiation, and logic. When Mercury comes in contact with fiery Mars and authoritative Sun, communication becomes sharper and more extreme. People may speak directly, bluntly, and sometimes harshly. Debates can become heated. Disagreements can become personal. In its refined form, this combination produces powerful persuasive speech, leadership writing, activism, investigative content, bold journalism, strong marketing, and excellent strategic thinking. In its lower form, it creates sarcasm, verbal aggression, impulsive messaging, and reputation damage due to careless words. This is a time to communicate with precision, not rage. Venus joining these energies adds complexity because Venus signifies love, relationships, harmony, romance, luxury, finances, comforts, beauty, diplomacy, and emotional cooperation. Venus does not naturally blend well with harsh Saturnian discipline or the fiery dominance of Sun, Mars. Hence, relationships can feel strained due to ego battles, control issues, and rising expectations. Passion can increase, but so can possessiveness. People may feel more ambitious materially and crave a more luxurious lifestyle, yet they may also feel dissatisfied if emotional needs are not met. This transit teaches that real relationship stability requires humility and emotional intelligence, not authority or dominance. It is also a period when money may be pursued aggressively, excellent for financial planning, wealth building, and disciplined saving. From a collective transit perspective, Mars in Capricorn also intensifies disciplined action in society. You may notice themes of military matters, policing, legal conflicts, enforcement, protests, structural reforms, and strict regulation. Capricorn is the sign of organized power, therefore this transit can highlight corporate restructuring, policy shifts, and rule-based systems becoming stronger. It is also a transit that can inspire people to learn or enter Capricorn-related fields such as law, administration, compliance, management, engineering, civil services, government work, and activism. Mars's special aspects during this transit also matter. Mars aspects the 4th, 7th, and 8th signs from itself, creating strong energetic pressure on those areas. The 4th aspect energizes and can act like protection for the area it touches, but can also create hyperactivity. The 7th aspect represents direct confrontation, often manifesting as conflicts with others, power struggles, dominance issues, or relationship tension. The 8th aspect is intense and transformative, and when connected with Ketu's energy, it may create sudden events, fire-related incidents, accidents, or impulsive actions. Therefore, safety consciousness becomes essential. This transit especially warns against reckless driving, speeding, risky travel, fire hazards, and impulsive behavior. Mars is a planet of force. In exaltation, force becomes greater, meaning outcomes become bigger, whether positive or negative. It's crucial to perceive Mars as the planet of action. Wherever it transits in the chart or during transit, it ignites activity in matters associated with that specific house. If Mars is well positioned in the chart and during transit, it also takes on the role of a defender or protector, safeguarding the affairs related to the house it influences. To accurately assess the impact of these transits, it is crucial to consider your ascendant and moon signs. The ascendant sign offers insights into the timing of life events, while the moon sign reveals how you will emotionally respond to these changes. Take into account the position of your current Mahadasha Lord in your birth chart, as it can shed light on how these transits will influence the recurring themes of your current dasha period. This transit may manifest differently for each individual, and how they navigate this transit will depend on their personal charts. A more precise understanding of the impact of this transit can be gained by examining Mars's Ashtakavarga score in Capricorn. Keep in mind that the effects of this transit are contingent on Mars's interaction with the planets in individual birth charts. It's also worth noting that individuals currently experiencing the influence of Mars Dasha may feel the effects of this transit more intensely. To understand how this transit may affect you based on your zodiac sign and the houses it transits, let's delve into those specifics. For Aries, Mars is your most important planet because it rules your 1st house and your 8th house. It directly represents your personality, confidence, courage, physical energy, and decision-making power. At the same time, it also controls sudden changes, risks, transformation, hidden matters, and deep life shifts. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your 10th house. This is one of the most important career transits of the year for Aries because Mars becomes exalted in Capricorn. In simple words, Mars performs at its best here, and it gives you the drive to work harder, aim higher, and move faster in your professional life. This transit brings strong career momentum. You will feel more ambitious and more serious about your status, growth, and achievements. Aries individuals will naturally want to prove themselves and gain recognition. Many of you will not tolerate delays or stagnation during this period. If you have been stuck in the wrong job or feeling underpaid, this transit can push you to take bold steps. This is a good time to apply for new jobs, attend interviews, negotiate for better pay, and take on bigger responsibilities. Mars in the 10th house makes you action-oriented, and since it is exalted, your efforts are more likely to produce solid results. This is also a highly productive period. You may handle multiple responsibilities at once, and your work output can increase sharply. People may notice you more at the workplace, and your image can become stronger. You can be seen as someone who is reliable, fast, and capable of delivering results under pressure. If you are running a business, this transit can help you scale operations, improve structure, expand professionally, and take bold leadership decisions. If you are involved in competitive fields, technology, engineering, management, government-related work, sports, or any profession that requires courage and execution, this transit supports you strongly. But this is not a soft transit. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn always demands discipline, patience, and consistency. So yes, the progress is there, but it comes with pressure. Many Aries individuals may work longer hours, deal with strict deadlines, or feel like they have to carry more than others. You may also feel that results are coming slower than your effort. That is exactly the Saturn influence. The key here is to stay steady. If you remain disciplined, this transit can build long-term reputation and stability. But if you become impatient, frustration can rise and it can lead to anger, burnout, or conflicts. Because Mars also rules your 8th house, this transit can bring sudden developments. Some Aries individuals may experience a job change, transfer, team restructuring, role shift, or sudden increase in responsibility. At times, this may feel intense, but it is not always negative. It simply means your career path is being upgraded through transformation. If your current career direction is not right for you, this transit can force clarity. It can push you to make decisive moves and stop wasting time. This transit becomes more eventful because Mars will form conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus in Capricorn, creating a highly active and intense professional and public atmosphere. When Sun and Mars come together, ambition rises sharply. You become more confident, competitive, and eager to lead. This can bring strong leadership opportunities and recognition, but it can also create ego clashes at work. Aries individuals must handle bosses, seniors, and authority figures carefully. Keep communication professional and avoid turning small workplace and public issues into personal battles. If you stay mature, this combination can boost status and respect. When Mercury joins Mars, your communication becomes sharp, fast, and strategic. This supports interviews, meetings, presentations, negotiations, and business discussions. You will be mentally alert and persuasive, but impatience can also rise. Harsh speech, impulsive replies, and careless messages can create problems. Be careful with emails, office chats, contracts, and written commitments. Double-check documents and avoid committing in haste. When Venus joins Mars, focus shifts toward money, comfort, and lifestyle upgrades. Financial growth is possible through career progress, but spending can also rise, especially on luxury, appearance, gadgets, or vehicles. Keep financial planning disciplined. Venus mixed with Sun, Mars can also create relationship tension, as work stress may spill into personal life. Avoid controlling behavior, give space to loved ones, and handle emotions calmly. Mars aspects shape the full impact. Mars's 4th aspect on Aries, your 1st house, is supportive and energizing. It boosts vitality, confidence, and courage, making it a great period for fitness, self-improvement, and leadership development. Just avoid overexertion, as burnout, inflammation, headaches, or sleep issues are possible if you push too hard. Mars's 7th aspect on Cancer, your 4th house, brings pressure at home. Domestic peace may reduce due to career focus, and disagreements with family are possible. Mother-related responsibilities may increase, and relocation or property matters may become active. Drive carefully and avoid rushing decisions. Mars's 8th aspect on Leo and Ketu, your 5th house, is the most sensitive. It can trigger emotional impatience in love matters, tension with children, and risky decision-making. Avoid gambling, speculative investments, and impulsive reactions. Also be cautious of fire, speed, and accidents caused by haste. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your 10th house is a powerful career-building period for Aries individuals. It supports promotions, new job opportunities, leadership roles, business expansion, and stronger professional reputation. You will be more ambitious and more hardworking, and your desire to achieve will be stronger than usual. The success of this transit depends on how maturely you handle pressure. Stay disciplined, keep your communication clean, avoid ego clashes, and do not bring workplace aggression into relationships. If you channel this energy correctly, this transit can become one of the strongest professional growth phases of early 2026 for Aries individuals. For Taurus, Mars rules your 7th house and your 12th house. This means Mars directly influences your marriage, long-term relationships, business partnerships, deals, and public interactions. At the same time, it also governs foreign connections, isolation, sleep, expenses, losses, hospitals, and spiritual withdrawal. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your 9th house. The biggest highlight of this period is that Mars becomes exalted in Capricorn, meaning it is in one of its strongest placements. This makes the entire transit highly action-oriented and results-driven. The 9th house represents higher education, long-distance travel, religion, spirituality, luck, teachers, mentors, father figures, law, publishing, and your overall life direction. When exalted Mars moves here, Taurus individuals become more focused on progress and long-term growth. You start thinking bigger. You feel the need to expand your world, upgrade your knowledge, and take your life direction more seriously. This transit is especially good for education and skill building. If you are studying, preparing for exams, working on certifications, or planning to upgrade your professional skills, this becomes a strong support period. Mars brings discipline, stamina, and courage, and Capricorn brings structure and persistence. Many Taurus individuals may finally find the motivation to be consistent with studies, courses, or serious learning goals. Even people who are procrastinating can suddenly become focused and determined. For working professionals, this can be a productive time to learn industry skills, sharpen leadership ability, and invest energy into career-relevant education. The effort you put in during this transit can give long-term results. At the same time, the 9th house also represents belief systems and ideology. Mars here can make Taurus individuals extremely firm about their opinions. You may feel more confident about what you believe in, and you may feel pulled towards spiritual discipline or religious routines. This can be very positive if it brings clarity, stability, and moral strength. But the downside is that Mars can also make you rigid or argumentative. Some Taurus individuals may get into debates around religion, politics, or belief-based topics, especially with elders or teachers. This transit teaches you something important. Be strong in your beliefs, but keep your tone respectful. You do not need to win every discussion. You only need to stay aligned with your purpose. This is also a strong transit for long-distance travel. Many Taurus individuals may travel for work, education, training programs, business expansion, or family responsibilities. Some may travel to holy places or spiritual destinations. And because Mars also rules your 12th house, the travel theme can become even more prominent, including foreign travel. This is a good time to explore overseas opportunities, international projects, global clients, or relocation planning. Taurus people who are trying for visas, immigration processes, foreign job connections, or international admissions may see movement during this period. Still, because Capricorn is connected to rules and process, everything will demand clean paperwork, patience, and disciplined follow-through. A major factor in this transit is that Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, making your 9th house highly active. As a result, themes like travel, higher learning, mentors, documentation, and long-term planning become stronger and more intense. The Sun-Mars combination increases confidence, ambition, and leadership drive. Taurus individuals may become more determined about growth and future direction, and you may push harder to reach the next level. This supports progress, but it can also create ego clashes with seniors, teachers, mentors, father figures, or authority-like people. Avoid bluntness and avoid dominating conversations with elders. Staying respectful keeps support and luck intact. When Mercury joins Mars, it strongly supports studies, writing, teaching, publishing, legal documentation, business proposals, and travel planning. Your communication becomes sharper and you can present your ideas confidently. This is also good for consulting and advisory work. Mercury, Mars can make speech harsh and can create mistakes due to speed. Be careful with emails, legal papers, official documentation, admissions processes, and contracts. Avoid rush decisions, because small errors can cause delays. When Venus joins, comfort and pleasure increase. Taurus individuals may feel drawn toward luxury travel, lifestyle upgrades, and premium learning experiences. Venus can also bring supportive people through travel and education circles. But it can increase distractions and unnecessary spending, so keep expenses practical. Spend only where it adds long-term value. Mars aspects show where pressure goes. Mars's 4th aspect on Aries activates the 12th house, increasing foreign links, travel chances, expenses, and sleep disturbance. You may spend on travel, education, relocation, or family needs. Control overspending and avoid careless habits. Mars's 7th aspect on Cancer activates the 3rd house, boosting courage, marketing, networking, and work-related travel. This helps business and communication fields, but can also create arguments with siblings or close circles if tone becomes too direct. Mars's 8th aspect on Leo with Ketu activates the 4th house, making home life sensitive. It can bring domestic tension, repair issues, and risks related to vehicles, fire, or electricity. Drive carefully, stay alert with home safety, and avoid unnecessary family conflicts to protect your peace. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your 9th house is a strong and uplifting period for Taurus individuals. It supports long-distance travel, foreign opportunities, higher education, spiritual discipline, and long-term growth planning. It gives you courage to expand your life and take your future seriously. At the same time, it demands maturity. Control your speech, avoid clashes with elders, stay disciplined with money, and maintain calm at home. If you handle this transit practically, it can open meaningful doors that shape your long-term progress in a powerful way. For Gemini, Mars is a very results-oriented planet because it rules your 6th house and 11th house. This means Mars controls competition, disputes, enemies, debts, discipline, and health battles on one side, and on the other side it governs gains, income growth, fulfillment of desires, networks, and achievements. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your 8th house. This is one of the most intense and sensitive placements for Mars because the 8th house represents sudden events, instability, accidents, hidden matters, surgery, chronic issues, deep emotional patterns, secrets, joint finances, taxes, insurance, inheritance, and transformation. The unique point here is that Mars becomes exalted in Capricorn. So, the planet becomes powerful, but the house it is operating in is not easy. That is why this transit can produce strong results, but it demands caution and maturity. The first and most practical prediction is about safety and risk control. Mars in the 8th house increases the chances of injuries, accidents, and sudden problems, no matter how strong Mars is. So, Gemini individuals should reduce unnecessary risk during this period. Avoid speeding, rash driving, shortcuts, and risky adventures. Be careful with fire, gas, sharp tools, machinery, gym injuries, heavy lifting, and electrical issues. The goal is not fear. The goal is to become smarter. If you stay alert and disciplined, you can easily avoid the negative side of this transit. At the same time, Mars in the 8th house can make you mentally fearless. It builds inner toughness. Many Gemini individuals will feel more determined and more intense than usual. You may stop tolerating nonsense, stop delaying decisions, and finally face issues you have been avoiding. The 8th house forces transformation. So, even if life feels a bit heavy, this transit can actually help you reset yourself, break bad cycles, and become stronger by the end of February. Since Mars also rules your 6th house, this transit can bring more situations involving competition, office politics, disputes, litigation, and workplace stress. You may feel that people are challenging you more than usual. Colleagues may become competitive, or hidden enemies may become active. The positive point is that exalted Mars gives you the power to win. Gemini individuals can defeat opponents, succeed in competitive exams, handle legal matters with strength, and solve difficult work problems. But do not waste energy in unnecessary fights. Pick battles wisely, because the 8th house also drains energy quickly if stress becomes constant. Health-wise, this transit needs attention. Mars in the 8th house is not ideal for ignoring symptoms. It can create sudden inflammation, fevers, infections, injuries, or flare-ups of hidden issues. Gemini individuals should focus on preventive health. Do not delay medical checkups if something feels wrong. Sleep and recovery become very important because the 8th house deals with stamina and longevity. Overworking without rest can lead to burnout, so balance ambition with recovery. Financially, the 8th house activates joint money and sudden financial events. This includes taxes, insurance, loans, settlements, commissions, spouse's income, shared bank accounts, business partner finances, and hidden expenses. Some Gemini individuals may face unexpected expenses, especially related to repairs, family emergencies, health issues, or legal obligations. Others may receive money through insurance claims, refunds, commission-based income, or sudden profit. The main advice is to stay conservative. Avoid risky investments and speculative trades, because the 8th house can swing suddenly. During this transit, money can come quickly, but money can also go quickly. Keep your savings protected. This transit becomes more intense because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, creating a strong planetary build-up in your 8th house. As a result, life can feel busier, unpredictable, and emotionally heavy at times. The 8th house is linked with hidden matters, sudden events, joint finances, trust issues, and deep transformation, so this period pushes Gemini individuals to handle situations with maturity and control. The Sun-Mars combination increases ego, dominance, and power struggles. For Gemini individuals, this can show up as conflicts around sensitive topics like money, family authority issues, inheritance or joint responsibilities, or clashes with people who try to control outcomes. Sun-Mars also increases body heat, which can lead to anger, irritation, headaches, acidity, or stress-related symptoms. A clean routine, hydration, and proper rest will reduce the negative effects. When Mercury joins Mars, the mind becomes sharper but also more restless. You may overthink, become suspicious, or feel the need to verify everything. On the positive side, this is excellent for research-based work, audits, risk analysis, compliance, investigation, cybersecurity, data projects, psychology, and occult learning. Gemini individuals can perform strongly in analytical fields during this phase. But mentally, stress can rise quickly if you stay stuck in non-stop thinking. Avoid anxiety loops and protect your sleep. When Venus joins Mars, relationship matters become sensitive. Passion increases, but so can jealousy, insecurity, and control issues. The 8th house deals with trust and emotional depth, so avoid secrecy, mixed signals, or manipulation. If communication stays honest and mature, this transit can deepen intimacy and heal old relationship wounds. If handled immaturely, it can create unnecessary drama. Mars aspects spread this impact further. The 4th aspect on Aries activates your 11th house, boosting ambition, networking, and income goals. Gains are possible through performance, competition, and connections, but ego clashes with friends are also possible. The 7th aspect on Cancer activates your 2nd house, making speech sharp and triggering family arguments about money or responsibilities, so stay mindful of words and diet. The 8th aspect on Leo with Ketu activates your 3rd house, increasing impulsive travel and aggressive communication, so drive carefully, avoid rash decisions, and keep sibling relations calm. Overall, Mars exalted in the 8th house is a high-impact transit for Gemini individuals. It can bring deep transformation, sudden changes, hidden opportunities, and strong inner courage. But it also increases risk of accidents, injuries, emotional intensity, and sudden financial outflow if you become careless. The best way to use this transit is to stay safety conscious, avoid unnecessary fights, keep finances disciplined, and protect your health and sleep. If you handle this transit smartly, it can remove old problems, strengthen your survival instinct, and push you into a stronger life phase by the end of February 2026. For Cancer, Mars rules your 5th house and 10th house. So, Mars directly influences your intelligence, education, creativity, children, romance, and decision-making on one side, and on the other side it controls your career growth, reputation, authority, professional direction, and public image. This is why Mars transits usually feel very eventful for Cancer individuals, especially in career and relationship matters. Mars will transit in Capricorn, which is your 7th house. Mars becomes exalted in Capricorn, so it becomes powerful and action-driven. But the 7th house is a relationship house, so the energy becomes intense, direct, and sometimes confrontational if not handled maturely. The 7th house represents marriage, spouse, long-term commitment, partnerships, business alliances, clients, contracts, public dealings, and the way you manage one-to-one relationships. Mars in the 7th house brings action in these areas. For many Cancer individuals, this transit can bring a turning point in marriage or relationship life. It can either strengthen bonds through practical efforts and protection, or it can create clashes due to dominance issues, impatience, and ego. Since Mars is exalted, it gives the ability to take the right actions and make mature decisions, but the key is controlling anger and not turning small issues into power battles. For married Cancer individuals, this is a period where you may focus more on the spouse and marriage responsibilities, but your style may become more commanding. You may want things done quickly, in your way, and without delays. If your spouse is cooperative, the relationship becomes productive and goal-oriented. You may plan important things together, such as financial planning, relocation, property matters, or long-term life goals. Mars in the 7th house also makes people protective, so you may defend your spouse strongly and take charge during stressful times. If the relationship already has unresolved issues, Mars can bring those issues to the surface. Arguments can rise, especially around control, decision-making, or ego clashes. The best approach is very simple: reduce reaction time, listen more, and avoid harsh words. For unmarried Cancer individuals, Mars in the 7th house can activate strong relationship developments. You may meet people who are bold, ambitious, practical, and career-focused. Attraction may happen quickly, but this transit also increases intensity and impatience. Some relationships can begin suddenly and move fast, but it is important to slow down and judge compatibility properly. It can also bring proposals or discussions around commitment, especially for those already in a serious relationship. Since Mars is a hot planet, it can create passion, but also possessiveness. This transit is also very powerful for business partnerships and client-based work. The 7th house is the marketplace, public, and clients. Exalted Mars here can bring aggressive growth in business, higher productivity, new deals, stronger negotiation power, and better business expansion. Cancer individuals who work in sales, consulting, freelancing, law, business management, or public-facing professions may see more activity and increased demand. This is an excellent time to take initiative, pitch to clients, close deals, and expand networks. But Mars can also create conflicts in partnerships if roles are unclear. So, keep everything documented, keep contracts clean, and avoid assumptions. If you do business with friends or relatives, be extra careful because Mars can bring ego clashes. This transit becomes more intense because Mars and Capricorn will form conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus for part of the period, making your 7th house highly active. Relationship matters, business partnerships, and public dealings become the main focus, and events can move quickly. With Sun and Mars together, confidence and authority rise, but ego and impatience also increase. Cancer individuals may become less tolerant of delays or disrespect. In marriage, this can create dominance struggles. In business, it can trigger competition and conflicts with partners or rivals. The key is to stay firm but respectful. Handle issues like a leader, not like a fighter. When Mercury joins Mars, communication becomes sharp and direct. This supports negotiations, client communication, interviews, meetings, marketing, and legal agreements. You can speak confidently and make strong points. But Mars can also create misunderstandings through anger or impulsive words. Avoid emotional messaging, sarcasm, and rushed decisions. Be careful with contracts, legal papers, and important conversations, because one careless discussion can create long-term tension. When Venus joins Mars, romance and attraction increase. Passion rises in marriage and love life, and relationship bonding can improve through shared experiences. Venus mixed with Sun, Mars can also create emotional expectations, ego clashes, and frustration if you feel underappreciated. Keep your approach practical. Show love through actions, reduce complaints, and avoid emotionally pressuring your partner. Venus can also increase spending on comfort, luxury, appearance, and relationship needs, so keep budgeting disciplined. Mars aspects shape other life areas too. Mars's 4th aspect on Aries activates your 10th house, strongly boosting career ambition. You become more competitive and determined to grow professionally. Promotions, recognition, and business expansion are possible, but avoid clashes with authority figures. Use the energy for performance, not for arguments. Mars's 7th aspect on Cancer activates your 1st house, increasing courage, confidence, and physical energy. You may appear bolder and commanding, which supports leadership, but it can strain relationships if you become too blunt. Health-wise, heat-related issues, inflammation, headaches, and irritation can rise, so control temper and maintain routine. Mars's 8th aspect on Leo with Ketu activates your 2nd house, making speech and finances sensitive. Harsh words can trigger family conflicts, and sudden expenses may affect savings. Be mindful of speech, avoid risky investments, and control diet to prevent digestion or throat-related issues. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your 7th house is a high-impact transit for Cancer individuals. It brings action in relationships, marriage, and business partnerships. It can strengthen bonds and improve commitment if handled maturely, but it can also create ego clashes and dominance issues if handled aggressively. At the same time, it boosts career ambition through its aspect on the 10th house and gives you stronger confidence through its aspect on the 1st house. The best way to use this transit is simple. Take decisive actions, stay disciplined, communicate clearly, avoid harsh speech, and treat relationships like teamwork rather than competition. If you manage the energy well, this transit can bring major growth in both personal and professional life by the end of February 2026. For Leo, Mars rules your 4th house and 9th house. This means Mars influences your home, property, mother, emotional peace, vehicles, and stability on one side, and on the other side it controls your luck, higher education, long-distance travel, mentors, beliefs, and long-term life direction. Mars will transit in Capricorn, which is your 6th house. This is a powerful transit because Mars becomes exalted in Capricorn, meaning it performs at its strongest level. The 6th house is the house of enemies, competition, conflict, debts, disease, disputes, court matters, and daily work pressure. So, Mars here does not keep things calm. It makes you fight, push, compete, and win. This is a results-oriented phase where your energy becomes sharper, your confidence increases, and your ability to face challenges improves. For Leo individuals, this can be one of the best transits to defeat competition, overcome obstacles, and fix problem areas, but only if you stay disciplined and avoid unnecessary fights. This transit makes Leo individuals extremely driven and productive in daily work life. You may become more serious about routine, deadlines, discipline, and performance. People who are lazy or inconsistent may suddenly feel the need to get their life in order. It is excellent for those preparing for competitive exams, interviews, promotions, and performance-based goals. If you work in corporate environments, government services, police, military, engineering, sports, medicine, law, compliance, or any field that involves handling pressure, competition, and responsibility, this transit can bring strong progress. Mars in the 6th house makes you aggressive in execution, and Capricorn makes it disciplined, so results can come through consistent effort. At the same time, the 6th house also represents conflicts and disputes, and Mars naturally increases heat wherever it goes. So, during this transit, Leo individuals must be careful about arguments at workplace, disputes with colleagues, disagreements with employees, and confrontations with seniors. You may feel less tolerant of incompetence and delays, and your reactions may become harsh. This is why the biggest practical advice in this transit is simple: stay focused on outcomes, not ego battles. Win through strategy and patience, not through shouting or dominance. If Mars is handled maturely, it gives victory. If it is mishandled, it creates enemies. Health is another major theme here. Mars in the 6th house can bring inflammation, fevers, infections, headaches, blood pressure fluctuations, cuts, burns, and injuries, especially if lifestyle is careless. But the positive side is that Mars also gives fighting power, so even if health issues arise, your recovery potential becomes strong. It is a very good time to start gym, strength training, weight loss discipline, martial arts, or a strict fitness routine. Many Leo individuals will feel motivated to fix health habits. Just avoid overtraining and avoid risky workouts. The 6th house is also connected to stomach and digestion, so keep food habits disciplined and avoid excess spicy or oily diet, especially if acidity becomes an issue. Financially, the 6th house is linked to loans, debts, and financial obligations. Some Leo individuals may take loans for practical needs, business expansion, or property-related matters. Others may focus on clearing debts and managing payments. This transit supports taking control of financial discipline, but it does not support careless borrowing. It also pushes Leo individuals to fight for what is rightfully theirs, so pending payments, stuck money, or disputes over transactions can finally move toward resolution. This transit becomes even more intense because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, activating your 6th house strongly. This can make work life busier and more competitive, with sudden developments involving colleagues, team politics, deadlines, and rivalries. With Sun and Mars together, confidence and authority increase, but ego and anger can rise too. Leo individuals may become more outspoken and less willing to compromise. This can be excellent for leadership and winning battles, but it can also create conflicts with bosses, government authorities, or powerful people if tone becomes harsh. Keep things professional and avoid unnecessary power struggles. Sun, Mars also increases body heat, so stress control, hydration, and health discipline become essential. When Mercury joins Mars, speech becomes sharper and faster. This is very supportive for competitive exams, interviews, debates, negotiations, legal matters, and strategic planning. You will handle communication and paperwork efficiently. But Mercury, Mars can also create arguments, sarcasm, and misunderstandings. Avoid impulsive emails, harsh office chats, and aggressive texting. Double-check documents, agreements, and legal papers, because one mistake can create bigger problems. When Venus joins Mars, comfort and relationship sensitivity rise. Work stress may spill into personal life, making you impatient at home. Spending on luxury, food, appearance, or comfort can also increase as a coping habit, so keep lifestyle balanced. Venus also highlights the importance of respectful behavior with coworkers, clients, or relationship partners, since misunderstandings can grow quickly during this phase. Mars aspects show where pressure spreads. Mars's fourth aspect on Aries activates your ninth house, supporting long-distance travel, higher education, certifications, luck through effort, and guidance from mentors. Opportunities may come through seniors, teachers, or influential people, but avoid ego clashes. Mars's seventh aspect on Cancer activates your 12th house, increasing expenses, travel, sleep disturbance, and stress. Protect rest and avoid careless spending. Foreign connections may develop, but only with proper planning. Mars's eighth aspect on Leo with Ketu impacts your first house, making you restless and reactive. Accident risk increases if you rush or act in anger. Avoid speeding, impulsive actions, and unnecessary fights. If handled maturely, this aspect gives powerful courage to defeat competition and achieve something major. Overall, Mars exalted in your sixth house is a strong winning transit for Leo individuals. It can help you defeat competition, rise in career through performance, fix health routines, and solve long-standing problems. But it can also increase fights, stress, inflammation, and enemies if anger is not controlled. The best approach is simple: work hard, stay disciplined, speak carefully, avoid ego battles, and protect your health and sleep. If you handle this transit practically, it can bring solid victories and visible progress by the end of February 2026. For Virgo, Mars rules your third house and eighth house. This means Mars influences your courage, efforts, communication style, marketing, business mindset, travel, and siblings on one side, while on the other side it controls sudden events, hidden issues, deep transformation, health vulnerabilities, secrets, insurance, inheritance, and emotional intensity. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your fifth house. This is a powerful transit because Mars becomes exalted in Capricorn. The fifth house represents education, intelligence, decision-making, creativity, romance, children, speculation, sports, entertainment, fame, and future planning. When exalted Mars enters your fifth house, it strongly energizes your mind and ambition. You become sharper, more competitive, and more serious about achieving something meaningful. This transit is excellent for education and focused effort. Virgo individuals who are students or preparing for exams can find this period highly productive. Discipline improves naturally, and it becomes easier to follow a schedule and stay consistent. Even if you usually procrastinate, this transit pushes you to take studies seriously and improve performance. It is also a strong time for skill building, certifications, and professional learning. If you are working, you may feel motivated to upgrade technical knowledge, improve strategy, and learn competitive skills that directly support career growth. Capricorn energy is practical, so your learning will be more goal-oriented and result-driven. At the same time, the fifth house represents creativity and self-expression. Exalted Mars here gives bold creative energy, so Virgo individuals involved in content creation, writing, marketing, media, or performance-based work may feel highly inspired and strongly driven to grow quickly. You may take more risks for recognition, which can be helpful, but also creates impatience. The best results come when you treat creativity like disciplined work instead of chasing instant success. This transit also supports sports and physical fitness. Mars brings energy, courage, and competitive drive, making it easier to stay active. Gym training, sports routines, yoga, and endurance-building efforts can show strong progress. Just avoid overtraining or pushing your body beyond limits, because Mars is powerful and can cause injuries if you become careless. Balanced effort gives long-term gains. Romance becomes more active too. Mars in the fifth house increases passion, attraction, and intensity. Relationships can move fast, and existing love bonds may become more expressive. Mars can also bring dominance and impatience. Avoid control issues, possessiveness, and harsh reactions, because small misunderstandings can turn into major arguments. Patience and emotional maturity will protect love life. For Virgo individuals with children, this transit increases focus on children's education, discipline, and activities. You may become more involved and serious about their progress, which can be helpful, but avoid becoming overly strict or impatient. Guide firmly, but speak gently. Now let's talk about speculation and money risks, because the fifth house also represents investment mindset, trading, betting, and risk appetite. Mars exalted in the 5th house can make Virgo individuals bold and confident, sometimes too confident. This is one of the key warnings of the transit. Avoid gambling-type decisions and avoid aggressive trading. You may feel sure you are right, but the 8th house rulership of Mars shows that sudden reversals are possible. If you invest, keep it disciplined and long-term. This transit supports structured financial planning, not impulsive speculation. This transit becomes more powerful because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, creating high intensity in your 5th house. As a result, themes like education, children, romance, creativity, and decision-making become more active and emotionally charged. The Sun-Mars conjunction boosts confidence, ambition, and leadership energy, but it also increases ego. Virgo individuals may become less tolerant of disagreement. In romance, this can create power struggles. With children, it can make you stricter or more demanding. In studies and creative work, it increases hunger to win and perform well. This combination can bring success, but only if you stay humble and avoid ego-based conflicts. When Mercury joins Mars, intellectual performance improves. You become sharper in strategy, debate, communication, and analytical learning. This supports writing, studying, presentations, exams, interviews, and creative thinking. But Mercury, Mars can also create harsh speech and arguments, especially in love matters and family discussions. Avoid speaking in anger, because words can create lasting damage. When Venus joins Mars, romance, attraction, and pleasure increase. Virgo individuals may feel drawn toward entertainment, dating, travel, comfort, and luxury. Venus can improve love life and bonding, but it may also create distractions. Strong attraction can build, but jealousy or emotional games can also arise, so keep clarity and maturity in relationships. Mars aspects spread the effects further. The 4th aspect on Aries activates your 8th house, increasing intensity and sudden event risk. Be cautious of injuries, accidents, health flare-ups, and avoid ignoring warning signs. It also supports deep research, psychology, occult learning, and healing work. The 7th aspect on Cancer activates your 11th house, supporting gains, networking, and success through effort, but avoid ego clashes with friends. The 8th aspect on Leo with Ketu activates your 12th house, increasing expenses, sleep disturbance, stress, and travel risk if rushed. Control spending and protect sleep to stay balanced. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your 5th house is a strong transit for Virgo individuals. It supports success in education, creativity, sports, competition, and ambition. It increases focus and determination, and it can help you build long-term achievements. But it also demands emotional maturity, patience in romance and parenting, careful decision-making in finances, and caution towards sudden events due to 8th house influence. If you stay disciplined and calm, this transit can become one of the most productive and progress-oriented phases of early 2026 for Virgo individuals. For Libra, Mars rules your 2nd house and 7th house. This means Mars directly impacts your money, savings, family peace, speech, and food habits on one side, and on the other side it strongly influences marriage, partnerships, business deals, clients, and public interactions. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your 4th house, and this becomes a significant period for home, property, emotional peace, and family responsibilities. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, so the energy becomes powerful, results-oriented, and action-driven. The 4th house represents home environment, mother, property, vehicles, inner emotional stability, and comfort. When Mars enters the 4th house, the first noticeable thing is increased activity and restlessness in domestic matters. Libra individuals may feel the urge to fix things quickly, reorganize home life, and handle responsibilities more aggressively than usual. This is not a silent transit. It pushes action. If you have been delaying repairs, shifting house, renovation, or property-related planning, this transit can force you to act. Mars in the 4th house often brings a practical mindset that says, let's handle this now. Because Mars is exalted, the ability to take correct action is stronger, but the emotional tone can become sharp if anger is not controlled. One major theme during this transit is home pressure. Some Libra individuals may feel stress inside the house due to family responsibilities, lack of comfort, or emotional tension. You may become less tolerant of slow behavior from family members. You may feel that you are the one handling everything. This can create irritation, especially if you are also dealing with work pressure. That is why you must consciously protect peace at home. If handled maturely, Mars can make you the protector and problem solver of your home, and you can improve stability significantly by the end of this transit. This is also a strong transit for real estate and property matters. Mars exalted in Capricorn supports practical progress in buying, selling, and initiating property deals. Many Libra individuals may plan home purchase, home shifting, renovation, construction work, boundary disputes resolution, or legal documentation related to property. If you are already planning such steps, this transit supports action, negotiation, and completion. Since Mars is still Mars, avoid rushing into decisions. Property documents, registration details, and loan terms must be checked carefully. This transit can give success, but only when decisions are taken logically, not emotionally. The fourth house represents vehicles, and Mars in the fourth can increase fast driving tendencies, impatience on roads, and risk-taking behavior. Libra individuals should be careful with driving, avoid speeding, and avoid road rage. If you are planning to buy a vehicle, this can be a supportive time, especially for practical decisions, but do not finalize anything in a rush. Get everything inspected properly, and avoid impulsive purchases based only on excitement. The fourth house strongly represents the mother figure. During this transit, mother's health, mood, or responsibilities may demand more attention. Some Libra individuals may need to handle medical visits, emotional support, or household responsibility due to mother-related matters. At times, communication can become sharp. So, be mindful. This is a transit where your protective instincts rise, but your tone may become too strong. Keep conversations calm. Now, because Mars rules your second and seventh houses, this fourth house transit directly affects finances and relationships as well. Mars can create a strong focus on family wealth building. Libra individuals may spend money on home improvement, property, furniture, electronics, repairs, or relocation. Some of these expenses are productive, but uncontrolled spending can rise quickly. It is important to make a budget and stick to it. Since Mars is a money-linked planet for Libra due to second house rulership, this transit can also motivate you to increase income and create stability, but you must avoid emotional spending as a coping habit. On the relationship side, Mars ruling the seventh house means marriage and partnerships get indirectly affected through home atmosphere. Many Libra individuals may want to take control at home, and that can create issues with spouse if the spouse feels dominated. The key is teamwork. Divide responsibilities. Do not treat relationship like a management project. Treat it like support and partnership. If you handle this well, Mars can strengthen marital bonding through shared goals like property planning, relocation, and long-term stability. This transit becomes more intense because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with Sun, Mercury, and Venus, strongly activating your fourth house for part of the period. With Sun, Mars, confidence rises, but so does ego. You may feel strongly about your decisions and push to complete pending home matters, but this can trigger clashes with family members if everyone tries to control things. Irritation and anger can also increase, so self-control is essential. When Mercury joins Mars, communication becomes faster and sharper. This supports documentation, property discussions, negotiations, shifting plans, and dealing with agents or family. But Mercury, Mars can also create arguments through careless words. Avoid harsh speech at home, because small conversations can escalate quickly. When Venus joins Mars, comfort and lifestyle desires increase. You may spend more on decoration, home upgrades, or luxury items. Venus can improve bonding and romance at home, but stress can still create friction if reactions are strong. Keep the home environment calm. Mars aspects also matter. The fourth aspect on Aries energizes partnerships and marriage, boosting passion but also dominance tendencies. The seventh aspect on Cancer increases career ambition and work pressure, so balance work and home. The eighth aspect on Leo with Ketu can create sudden issues in friendships and networking, so avoid conflicts and risky money moves influenced by others. Overall, Mars exalted in your fourth house brings strong action in home and property matters. It can help you build stability, take major decisions, and improve comfort, but it can also create domestic stress if anger is not controlled. The best approach is to stay practical, plan finances carefully, drive safely, communicate calmly, and treat home life like a place of peace, not a battlefield. If you manage the energy maturely, this transit can give solid long-term progress in property, family stability, and emotional grounding by the end of February 2026. For Scorpio, Mars rules your first house and sixth house. This makes Mars the controller of your personality, confidence, energy, body, and decision-making style on one side, and on the other side it controls competition, enemies, debts, disputes, discipline, work pressure, and health struggles. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your third house, and the biggest highlight is that Mars is exalted here. This is a strong and productive transit that can make you fearless, active, and extremely action-oriented. The third house represents courage, willpower, communication, self-efforts, marketing, networking, short-distance travel, writing, sales, social media activity, skills, hobbies, and siblings. Mars in the third house is one of the best placements for becoming bold and unstoppable. Scorpio individuals will naturally feel a rise in confidence and initiative. You will be less dependent on others and more focused on doing things on your own terms. This transit pushes you into execution mode. If you have been planning something for a long time, this is a period where you will finally take action instead of thinking endlessly. It also supports entrepreneurship and independent projects because the third house is about self-made success and personal effort. This is a highly productive time for communication-driven work. Scorpio individuals can become more active in meetings, presentations, client calls, marketing, selling, writing, content creation, and business outreach. Your communication will become direct, strong, and persuasive. You will not hesitate to say what you want. This can be a major advantage in professional environments because it makes you sound confident and capable. The same directness can become harsh if anger is not controlled. Mars gives a sharp tongue, and Scorpio already has intensity, so this transit requires one important discipline: speak clearly, but do not speak aggressively. If you control the tone, your words can create opportunities. If you don't, your words can create enemies. Mars in the third house also increases travel and movement. Short-distance travel may rise due to work, business, family responsibilities, or frequent errands. Scorpio individuals may travel more within the city or between nearby places. This transit makes you restless and active, so sitting still will feel difficult. Some of you will feel like changing routines, improving lifestyle habits, and becoming more adventurous. This is good as long as you don't become careless while driving. Since Mars is an accident-prone planet when rushed, avoid speeding, risky shortcuts, and aggressive road behavior. Because Mars rules your sixth house, this transit gives you a strong edge in competition. You may feel more powerful in handling rivals, workplace politics, difficult clients, and stressful tasks. Scorpio individuals will be ready to fight for their position and prove their worth. If you are preparing for competitive exams, interviews, or performance-based goals, this is a very supportive time. It gives mental courage and physical stamina. You may also become more disciplined about daily routines, because the sixth house is linked to discipline and hard work. The good news is that exalted Mars helps you win battles. The warning is that it can make you unnecessarily confrontational. So be strategic. Don't fight everyone. Fight only what matters. This transit becomes more intense because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, creating a powerful activity zone in your third house. Life can feel fast-paced, with constant communication, meetings, and work pressure. You may feel mentally switched on and continuously busy. With Sun and Mars together, confidence and ambition rise. Scorpio individuals may take charge naturally in conversations and decision-making, which supports leadership, business execution, and managing projects. This combination can also create ego clashes with colleagues, neighbors, or siblings. The key is to focus on outcomes, not dominance. Lead firmly, but avoid unnecessary arguments. When Mercury joins Mars, your thinking and speaking speed becomes very fast. This is excellent for writing, strategy, marketing, business negotiations, media work, and digital growth. Scorpio individuals can perform brilliantly in communication-heavy fields. But Mercury, Mars can also create misunderstandings through impulsive speech. One rushed message, harsh reply, or careless email can create long-term damage. So be careful with WhatsApp chats, documents, contracts, and important communication. Always double-check before sending, especially when irritated. When Venus joins Mars, social visibility increases. You may connect with more people, expand networks, attend meetings, or travel more for social reasons. Venus can bring benefit through creative collaborations, women, or relationship-based support. But Venus, Mars can increase desire for comfort and spending, so expenses on gadgets, travel, food, or lifestyle may rise. Budget discipline is important. Also, Venus wants harmony while Mars wants control, so avoid relationship arguments triggered by workload or ego. Mars aspects extend effects further. The fourth aspect on Aries strengthens your sixth house, helping you defeat competition, handle debts, and overcome enemies, but it increases workload, so avoid burnout. The seventh aspect on Cancer activates the ninth house, supporting travel and learning, but avoid clashes with mentors due to strong opinions. The eighth aspect on Leo with Ketu impacts the 10th house, bringing career pressure and sudden changes. Take bold steps only with planning, not anger. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your third house is one of the best transits for Scorpio individuals to become courageous, productive, and unstoppable through self-effort. It supports business growth, marketing success, communication skills, networking expansion, bold decision-making, and competitive victories. It can also bring short travels and an extremely active schedule. The only thing you must manage is impatience. Control harsh speech, avoid fights with siblings or colleagues, drive carefully, and do not make impulsive career decisions during Mars Ketu pressure. If you channel this energy maturely, this transit can bring major growth, strong achievements, and a noticeable rise in confidence by the end of February 2026. For Sagittarius, Mars rules your 5th house and 12th house. This means Mars impacts your intelligence, education, creativity, romance, children, decision-making, and speculative tendencies on one side, while on the other side it controls foreign connections, isolation, sleep, expenses, losses, hospitals, and spiritual retreat. Mars will transit through Capricorn, which is your 2nd house, and the biggest highlight is that Mars is exalted here. This makes the transit highly focused on results, money management, family responsibilities, and speech patterns. The 2nd house represents wealth, savings, family environment, food habits, speech, values, and accumulated resources. Mars entering the 2nd house brings strong action in financial matters. Sagittarius individuals may feel a stronger need to build savings, increase income, and take control of financial discipline. Many of you may become more protective and responsible toward family, taking charge of important decisions and acting like the one who manages household stability. This transit can motivate you to take wealth seriously, fix financial leaks, and bring structure into income planning. Because Mars is exalted, your actions can be effective, and efforts to grow wealth can start showing results by the end of this transit. At the same time, Mars is a fiery planet and the 2nd house controls speech, so this transit can create fiery speech. Sagittarius individuals may become more direct, blunt, and sometimes harsh without realizing it. You may speak with authority, but sometimes your tone may feel aggressive to others. This is one of the biggest risk areas in this transit, because harsh words can create tension in family relationships. So, your speech becomes the deciding factor. If you use Mars energy maturely, you become confident, convincing, and commanding in communication. If you use it immaturely, you become argumentative and create stress at home. During this transit, think before speaking, especially with family members. This is also a powerful transit for wealth building, but not in a lazy way. Mars gives results only through action. Sagittarius individuals can benefit through entrepreneurship, business expansion, sales work, leadership at workplace, side income projects, commission-based work, and aggressive effort toward increasing income. Some of you may take strong decisions related to investments, property planning, or financial restructuring. This is a great time to create a financial system for the next year. Budgeting, debt clearing, disciplined saving, insurance planning, and long-term wealth planning will bring major benefits. Because Capricorn is a practical sign, this transit supports stable and long-lasting financial improvement rather than temporary gain. Since Mars also rules your 12th house, it can simultaneously increase expenses. Sagittarius individuals may spend money on family needs, travel, foreign connections, education, medical matters, or lifestyle upgrades. Some of these expenses will be necessary and productive, but careless spending can also rise, especially due to impulse purchases. Mars in the 2nd house sometimes creates earn and spend fast pattern. So, it is very important to control unnecessary shopping, luxury expenses, and ego-based spending. If you maintain discipline, this transit can increase savings. If not, money may come but may not stay. Family responsibilities become more active during this period. You may take charge of household matters, become a protector of family, and handle issues related to family stability. Sagittarius individuals may need to deal with family disputes, property-related matters, or responsibility toward parents. Mars can bring courage and leadership, but it also brings impatience. So, avoid controlling behavior. The best way to use this transit is to take responsibility quietly and practically rather than creating stress through harsh speech. This transit becomes more intense because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus for part of the period. Since this is happening in your second house, it strongly activates money matters, savings, family dynamics, and speech. So, during this phase, financial decisions and family interactions both become faster and more intense. The Sun-Mars conjunction increases confidence, authority, and a strong desire to take charge. Sagittarius individuals may feel that others should follow their decisions, especially in financial or family matters. This can help you take control of money planning and household responsibilities, but it can also create ego clashes at home. Sun-Mars also increases body heat, so stress-related irritation, headaches, acidity, and inflammation can rise if routine becomes unstable. Staying calm, physically active, and avoiding overwork is important. When Mercury joins Mars, speech becomes sharper and more persuasive. This is excellent for financial discussions, negotiations, sales, business deals, presentations, and convincing communication. Sagittarius individuals may handle money talks very confidently. Mercury-Mars can also trigger arguments, harsh words, and impulsive conversations. Avoid heated discussions about money with family members. Also double-check payments, contracts, financial documents, and written commitments, because Mercury increases speed and speed can create mistakes. When Venus joins Mars, money and desire rise together. Venus can attract financial opportunities, improve lifestyle, and increase comfort at home. It may also strengthen bonding through family enjoyment. But Venus with Mars can increase luxury spending on food, comfort items, travel, and lifestyle upgrades. If discipline is missing, expenses may rise quickly. Keep speech respectful, because even if Venus softens the situation, Mars can still trigger family arguments. Mars aspects expand the results further. The fourth aspect on Aries energizes your fifth house, boosting learning, creativity, exams, skill building, and focus on children. Avoid being too dominating in love matters. The seventh aspect on Cancer activates your eighth house, increasing chances of sudden expenses, tax or insurance issues, and joint finance stress, so manage money carefully and avoid risky habits. The eighth aspect on Leo with Ketu activates your ninth house, bringing intensity in beliefs, travel, and mentor or father matters, so stay respectful and avoid stubborn conflicts. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your second house is a strong transit for Sagittarius individuals to take control of wealth, family stability, and communication. It can bring income opportunities, financial progress, stronger responsibility toward family, and long-term wealth discipline. But it can also bring harsh speech, family tension, impulsive expenses, and sudden financial outflow if emotional control is missing. The best approach is practical. Speak less but wisely, plan money strictly, avoid ego-based spending, and handle family responsibilities calmly. If you do this transit can significantly improve your financial foundation and family stability by the end of February 2026. For Capricorn, Mars rules your 4th house and 11th house. This means Mars directly impacts your home life, emotional stability, property, vehicles, mother, and inner peace on one side, and on the other side it controls income, gains, achievements, networking, fulfillment of desires, and your ability to grow materially. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your 1st house, and this is a major transit because Mars becomes exalted here. This makes you highly energetic, action-oriented, and determined, but also easily irritated if you do not manage stress properly. The 1st house represents your body, health, confidence, personality, motivation, decision-making power, and overall life direction. When Mars enters the 1st house, your energy levels increase sharply. You will naturally feel more active, more competitive, and more motivated to take charge of life. Even Capricorn individuals who usually move slowly and carefully will suddenly feel restless and driven. This transit makes you want results quickly. It pushes you to stop waiting and start acting. That is why this is one of the best periods for Capricorn individuals to build strong momentum in personal goals, career goals, fitness goals, and leadership development. This is an excellent time for fitness and body strength. Mars in the first house naturally makes Capricorn individuals more conscious about physique and stamina. Many of you may start gym, jogging, walking, strength training, or disciplined fitness routines. You will feel motivated to become stronger, fitter, and more confident, and this transit supports breaking unhealthy habits. The only caution is overdoing it. Mars can push you to cross limits, ignore rest, or train too aggressively, which can lead to muscle strain, inflammation, injuries, or fatigue. The best results will come through steady consistency, not extreme effort. Mars in the first house also makes your personality bold and direct. You may speak with authority, act with confidence, and set stronger boundaries. People will notice your energy and take you more seriously. This is a strong phase for leadership, entrepreneurship, and career ambition. Capricorn individuals may feel less willing to tolerate stagnation and more ready to take charge. It becomes easier to initiate new projects, make important decisions, and handle challenges you were previously avoiding. At the same time, this fiery Mars energy can create inner pressure. You may feel impatient with slow people, delays, and disorganized environments. Irritation can rise in traffic, workplace situations, or family matters. That is why anger control becomes a major success factor. If you manage impatience, Mars brings achievement. If you react impulsively, it can create conflict, stress, and unnecessary problems. Avoid frustration-driven decisions. Since Mars rules your 11th house, Mars in the first supports income growth and achievement. Ambition increases, and you may actively pursue financial goals. This is a good time to expand networks, reconnect with useful contacts, and push for gains through effort. Business owners may see growth opportunities, while working professionals may gain recognition through performance. Ego issues can arise in networking circles, so stay confident but humble. Because Mars also rules your 4th house, home matters become active. You may take major decisions about relocation, renovation, repairs, or property planning. This can improve comfort and stability, but impatience at home can create arguments. Balance action with calm communication to protect domestic peace. This transit becomes more intense because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus for part of the period. As this happens in your 1st house, your energy rises sharply and life starts moving faster. You may feel more restless, more action-driven, and less willing to tolerate delays. The Sun-Mars conjunction boosts confidence, ambition, and authority. Capricorn individuals may feel more powerful and determined to win, but ego and anger can also rise. This can bring strong success in leadership roles, but it may also create clashes with seniors, authority figures, or partners if you become too dominating. Health-wise, Sun-Mars increases body heat, so inflammation, headaches, acne, acidity, fever-like symptoms, and blood pressure fluctuations can happen if stress is high. Keep your routine clean, stay hydrated, and avoid overworking. When Mercury joins Mars, communication becomes sharp and fast. This is excellent for interviews, negotiations, meetings, sales, business discussions, and planning. You will speak with confidence and clarity. But Mercury-Mars can also create arguments, harsh speech, and misunderstandings. Avoid rude replies, impulsive texting, and aggressive social media reactions. Words can create opportunities now, but careless speech can also create enemies. When Venus joins Mars, attraction, comfort, and relationship themes increase. You may spend more on appearance, fitness, lifestyle upgrades, and luxury. Venus adds charm and makes you more noticeable. But Venus with Mars can also increase desire, impatience, and relationship drama due to control issues. Keep balance in love matters and avoid dominance. Mars aspects also matter. The 4th aspect on Aries energizes home and property matters, supporting relocation, renovation, or real estate decisions, but avoid domestic anger and rash driving. The 7th aspect on Cancer intensifies marriage and partnerships, increasing passion but also conflict potential, so choose teamwork over ego. The 8th aspect on Leo with Ketu is the most sensitive, increasing accident risks and sudden events, so avoid reckless actions and unnecessary fights. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your first house is a strong life-changing transit for Capricorn individuals. It increases energy, confidence, leadership, ambition, and the desire to improve health and success. It can bring gains and progress through effort. But it also increases anger, impatience, and accident risk if you become careless. The best way to use this transit is simple: channel energy into fitness, disciplined action, and career goals, while controlling temper, protecting health, and maintaining balance in relationships. If handled wisely, this transit can make you stronger, more confident, and more successful by the end of February 2026. For Aquarius, Mars rules your 3rd house and 10th house. This makes Mars directly connected to your courage, efforts, communication, marketing ability, short travel, and skills on one side, and on the other side it controls your career growth, authority, reputation, responsibilities, and public image. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your 12th house. This is a sensitive transit because the 12th house deals with foreign lands, isolation, losses, expenses, sleep, hospitals, legal troubles, and spiritual retreat. The positive point is that Mars is exalted in Capricorn, so it becomes powerful and disciplined. But because it is in the 12th house, the results often come in hidden ways rather than openly. The 12th house represents what happens behind the scenes. So, during this transit, Aquarius individuals may find themselves putting energy into areas that are not visible to everyone. You may work silently, plan privately, and focus on long-term moves without sharing much. Many Aquarius individuals may experience a strong pull toward foreign connections. This can mean foreign travel, overseas clients, international business, visa-related steps, or relocation planning. Mars ruling the 10th house and sitting in the 12th creates a clear theme of career growth through foreign lands or distant places. Some individuals may get opportunities linked to multinational companies, foreign partnerships, remote work with international clients, or projects connected to overseas travel. At the same time, Mars in the 12th house can increase expenses. Aquarius individuals may spend more on travel, family responsibilities, health matters, gadgets, professional needs, or luxury. This transit can create a pattern of earning and spending fast. Since Mars is exalted, the earning potential can also increase through effort, but if discipline is missing, savings may reduce. So, financial planning becomes very important. During this period, keep a strong budget. Avoid impulsive shopping and avoid spending to release stress. Mars in the 12th house can easily make a person spend for comfort, escapism, or emotional relief. Keep spending practical and controlled. A major theme of this transit is sleep and mental rest. Mars in the 12th house can disturb sleep and keep your mind active at night. Aquarius individuals may overthink, plan constantly, or feel mentally restless, especially because Mars will also form conjunctions with Sun, Mercury, and Venus in Capricorn. If sleep reduces, stress rises quickly, so sleep becomes non-negotiable. Avoid late-night work overload, arguments, and heavy screen use before bed. Your rest will decide whether this transit feels productive or draining. Mars in the 12th can also push you towards spiritual growth. You may feel drawn to meditation, retreats, yoga, or deep self-reflection. This is excellent for inner healing and discipline-based spiritual routines. But there is also a risk of escapism. The 12th house can make people run away from problems, and Mars may increase impulsive avoidance. Use spirituality to build strength, not to avoid responsibilities. Since Mars rules your 10th house, career still gets activated strongly, but in a behind-the-scenes way. You may work in isolation, handle secret or sensitive tasks, connect with foreign companies, or build long-term projects quietly. Some Aquarius individuals may feel they are working hard without recognition, but that is normal because the 12th house delays visible results. This is a powerful time for strategy, preparation, research, and skill building that pays off later. Workplace politics may also increase because the 12th house represents hidden enemies. Stay professional, avoid conflicts, and keep proof of important communications. Health requires attention too. Mars here increases risk of hidden health issues, injuries, inflammation, or hospital-related situations if lifestyle becomes careless. Avoid alcohol, junk food, irregular routine, and sleep neglect. Also stay disciplined legally and ethically, because impulsive shortcuts can backfire during this transit. This Mars transit becomes more active because Mars in Capricorn forms conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, energizing your 12th house. This can trigger sudden developments connected to expenses, foreign travel, isolation, sleep patterns, and emotional intensity. You may feel more restless internally and more pressured to take quick decisions, but results will improve only when you stay disciplined. The Sun-Mars combination increases confidence, ego, and impatience. Aquarius individuals can feel easily irritated, especially when tired, stressed, or mentally overloaded. It can also bring friction with bosses, authority figures, or government matters if reactions become too sharp. Health-wise, headaches, acidity, inflammation, and stress-related irritation can rise if routine becomes unstable. Staying calm, hydrated, and well-rested becomes essential. When Mercury joins Mars, the mind becomes sharper but also more restless. You may overthink, overplan, and analyze everything too deeply. This is great for strategy, research, and behind-the-scenes work, but it can disturb sleep and increase anxiety. Mercury-Mars also increases the risk of mistakes in documents, payments, travel bookings, and online transactions, so double-check everything before confirming. When Venus joins Mars, the desire for comfort rises. Spending on luxury, travel, food, and lifestyle upgrades may increase. Venus can also bring private romantic connections, especially through foreign settings or hidden circumstances. But Venus with Mars can cause emotional confusion, jealousy, or impulsive choices. Keep relationships clean and mature. Mars aspects shift energy into key areas. The fourth aspect on Aries supports courage, communication, marketing, networking, and skill building. The seventh aspect on Cancer activates competition, disputes, and health battles, so avoid fights but stay firm. The eighth aspect on Leo with Ketu constrain relationships and partnerships, so control ego and keep agreements clear. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your 12th house is a strong but sensitive transit for Aquarius individuals. It supports foreign travel, overseas career growth, behind-the-scenes success, spiritual discipline, and deep planning. But it also increases expenses, sleep issues, hidden stress, and the risk of legal or health complications if you become careless. The best approach is to keep routine disciplined, manage money strictly, sleep well, and focus on silent progress. If you handle this transit maturely, it can set you up for major career advancement and personal transformation after February 2026. For Pisces, Mars rules your 2nd house and 9th house. This means Mars influences your wealth, savings, family values, speech, and food habits on one side, and on the other side it governs luck, higher knowledge, belief systems, long-distance travel, mentors, and life direction. Mars will transit in Capricorn, your 11th house, and this is a powerful transit because Mars is exalted here. This makes you ambitious, goal-oriented, and eager to achieve tangible results, especially in income, networking, and long-term desires. The 11th house represents gains, income growth, fulfillment of desires, networking, social circles, elder siblings, influence, and the ability to impact society. When exalted Mars enters this house, Pisces individuals become highly driven to pursue what they truly want. You may feel a strong inner push to chase long-pending goals, increase income, expand reach, and make a visible impact in the world. This is not a passive transit. It demands action. You may feel less patient with slow progress and more focused on results. The desire to grow financially, socially, and professionally becomes strong, and you may actively seek opportunities to upgrade your status. This is a very supportive transit for income growth, especially through effort-based work. Pisces individuals may see gains through business expansion, performance-based roles, commissions, leadership responsibilities, freelancing, consulting, or side projects. Mars ruling your 2nd house connects this transit directly to money, so earnings can increase if you take initiative. Mars also creates a fast money, fast expense pattern. Gains may come, but money may also flow out quickly due to lifestyle upgrades, social commitments, travel, or family responsibilities. So, while this transit supports earning, it also demands discipline and saving. Without planning, you may feel that money is coming but not staying. Networking becomes a major theme. Pisces individuals may interact with powerful people, professional groups, organizations, or communities that help them grow. You may feel more confident in approaching influential individuals and asserting your ideas. This is beneficial for career growth and visibility. Mars in the 11th house can also create dominance issues in networking circles. You may come across as too aggressive or controlling, especially with elder siblings, friends, or team members. If you push too hard, relationships can suffer. The key is to lead through contribution, not control. If you stay collaborative, this transit can bring strong support from networks. Because Mars rules your 9th house, this transit also connects gains with luck and long-term vision. Pisces individuals may experience financial or professional opportunities through mentors, teachers, foreign connections, or belief-driven work. Some may gain through publishing, teaching, consulting, spiritual work, legal matters, or international exposure. This is a transit where effort activates luck. The more disciplined and sincere your actions are, the more doors open. At the same time, Mars can make you rigid about beliefs. Avoid becoming argumentative or forceful about opinions, especially in professional or social spaces. This transit also creates a strong desire to make a difference. Pisces individuals may feel motivated to work towards social causes, community development, leadership roles, or initiatives that bring change. Mars gives courage to stand for what you believe in, and Capricorn gives structure to turn ideas into action. If you are involved in activism, organizational leadership, or large-scale projects, this transit can help you push things forward. But it can also create conflict if you try to impose your vision without consensus. This Mars transit becomes much more intense because Mars and Capricorn will form conjunctions with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus for part of the period. Since this is happening in your 11th house, the focus goes strongly toward gains, networking, social influence, achievements, and fulfillment of desires. You will feel more ambitious, more goal-oriented, and more willing to take bold steps to reach success. Your visibility increases and you may naturally attract powerful circles, important connections, and opportunities that can boost your income or status. The Sun-Mars conjunction raises confidence and leadership energy. Pisces individuals may feel ready to take charge, lead a team, or push strongly for recognition. This can bring respect and authority, but it can also create ego clashes in friend circles or professional networks. Avoid dominating others. If your workload becomes too heavy, this combination can increase stress, irritation, headaches, or inflammation, so pace yourself. When Mercury joins Mars, your communication becomes sharp, fast, and strategic. This is excellent for negotiations, planning, networking, presentations, sales, marketing, and pitching ideas. You may convince people easily and speak with confidence. But the downside is bluntness. Be careful with messages, emails, and public statements because a careless word can damage an important connection. When Venus joins Mars, social life becomes active and financial opportunities increase. You may attend gatherings, meetings, or events that expand your circle. Venus can bring support through friends and networks. At the same time, Venus increases spending on comfort, luxury, travel, and enjoyment. Combined with Mars, this can lead to impulsive expenses. Mars aspects also matter. Mars's 4th aspect on Aries activates your 2nd house, bringing strong focus on money, savings, family responsibilities, and speech. Earnings can rise through effort, but expenses can rise too, so control spending. Speak carefully at home. Mars's 7th aspect on Cancer activates your 5th house, energizing creativity, studies, and children-related responsibilities. Romance becomes passionate but needs patience. Mars's 8th aspect on Leo with Ketu activates your 6th house, creating risk of workplace conflicts and health stress, so avoid office politics and take care of inflammation and exhaustion. Overall, Mars exalted in Capricorn in your 11th house is a powerful transit for Pisces individuals. It supports income growth, ambition, networking, and fulfillment of long-term desires. It pushes you to act boldly and chase meaningful goals. It also increases expenses, ego clashes, and dominance issues if energy is not managed well. The key themes of this transit are disciplined action, controlled speech, smart financial planning, and respectful leadership. If you handle this energy maturely, this period can bring significant gains, expanded influence, and a stronger sense of purpose by the end of February 2026. As we conclude this episode, please keep in mind that these insights are based on the sidereal zodiac system used in Vedic astrology, which differs from the tropical system by approximately 24 degrees. These are general predictions. The real impact depends on your dasha cycles and your individual birth chart. For a personalized analysis or consultation, feel free to reach out. If you found this video valuable, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And now, you can also hype this video to boost it within the community. Your support helps this knowledge reach more people who may benefit. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, keep learning, and keep shining bright.